Okay, so the next question is, do your breasts feel real? Can I have a feel?
Look, usually I have to say I don't mind, anyone can touch my boobs as long as you ask.
Well, you paid good money for them.
Yeah.
Hi, TransHub.
I'm Skye.
And I'm Victoria.
And today we're going to talk about what not to ask trans women or trans people.
Okay, so basically this was a request that we were given by a lot of people to ask what we get asked and what not to ask, or
how not to offend trans people when you meet them, because sometimes questions can be a little bit too forward or make trans people feel uncomfortable, and even though that might not be the best intention or your intentions, it can offend us and make us feel uncomfortable. So here are a few questions and giving an example of what not to ask.
The first question is, what was your name before?
This one is terrible. It's like, I've worked so hard to be the person I am today. Why do you want to remind me of who I wasn't, or my past experience of, being confused and not knowing who I was? It's offensive, and it's just like, I just feel like we've worked so hard, and it can undermine, it feels like you're undermining every step we've taken since then to be the person we are today. So it can be quite triggering and offensive.
There's all this fascination of what we were like before, or those little details. I definitely think it's not something that's important for people to know, and I don't know why people ask. So if you are meeting a trans person, it's definitely something you shouldn't be asking them. It's just like, I just don't see any point in what it can offer you, or it's not also very obviously for a lot of trans people it's a time where they might not have been happy with their lives and how they were living, and then you're kind of like reminding them of the past and maybe even a terrible time where they were very unhappy. So just don't ask.
So next question, what did you look like before you transitioned? What did you look like, Vicky?
What did I look like? I was skinny. I was, I guess my metabolism was working better, so I wasn't as curvy as I am now. But it's like, the thing is,
why is this inappropriate?
Why is it inappropriate? Because back to what we were saying before. That could have been a time where we were unhappy, and I do look back at that time, and there was like a lot of unhappiness, and me trying to figure out who I was, and it took a while for me to figure out what I wanted and how I wanted to look and everything. So I guess as well, it's like you spend a lot of time to look the way you do, and it could be a lot of work for a lot of trans people to present how they feel, and why do you have to be reminded of that?
And exactly, we're fighting so hard to not be the person we were before, or like the way we looked before. We're trying to be respected and treated as the gender we feel inside. So to ask us what we look like before, it's like you just want to disregard all the effort we've done, and you want to judge us on that, based on those photos, or you want to see us in that way. You still want to look at us as our past gender and the way we looked before.
Okay, so the next question is, do your breasts feel real? Can I have a feel?
Look, usually I have to say I don't mind, anyone can touch my boobs as long as you ask.
Well, you paid good money for them.
Yeah. And if you wonder how they feel, they're pretty firm. Like, I'd be careful, don't come near me. I could knock you out with one of these things, honestly. They're hard
They're
as
our
rock.
weapons.
Yeah, they're my weapons.
They're hard as rocks.
Yeah, like if I bump into you with my teeth, which happens a lot, I feel sorry for
Their
you.
teeth
I feel sorry for you.
Can I feel them?
Yeah.
No,
But, I mean-
she's over exaggerating. They're actually quite nice.
But, you know, some trans women might get really offended, so, you know. Don't ask that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it depends on the trans person, you know. Some might be, might want to answer it or might not want to answer it. Generally, it depends on who is asking it as well. If I want them to touch it. Or, actually, there's a funny thing that one of the performers on Oxford Street does. It's Maxie Shield. She's a drag queen, but she puts like these massive like breastplates on, and when someone goes in to grab her breasts, because they're quite like big and inviting, they're so juicy, so they'll go in to touch her breasts and then she'll go in to touch their junk.
That's actually a good comment. I should use that.
Because like they don't even ask, it's almost like asking and doing it at the same time.
I should use that.
Yeah,
That's a great
I should use it too.
Maxie, I'm stealing that. Love you.
Okay, so the next question is, do you have a penis or a vagina?
What's it to you? Are you gonna have sex with me tonight? Like, are you interested? Do you want
to touch it?
Yeah,
Do you want to see it?
like, unless we're going to go to bed together, we're gonna sleep together, I don't understand why that is an appropriate question to ask me.
I've noticed as well sometimes, like, if like you haven't had like any surgery or something, it's almost like people get disappointed or something like that, and it's like, why are you even asking that to begin with? You know, and it's like, I try to throw it back at them and say, well, what do you have, or something like that, or, you know, I make a comment like, or like maybe this happens to me a lot on like dating sites and all of that, and I always just joke, I'll be like, well, I hope yours is bigger or something like that.
Next question. How does your family feel about you?
Well, when I changed my name, I got asked this because I'd have to go to places to get my name changed in that place. So somewhere like the bank, I had to go to the bank and then get my name changed, and then there'd be this awkward moment where they'd be like, oh, so you're doing this on behalf of someone else, or like, why are you doing this? And then I said, well, I'm transgender, I'm changing my name. And then, you know, I'm just there wanting to get that done. I've got other errands I've got to run throughout the day, and then the person who was helping me was asking, oh, so what do your family feel like? And at the time, it was like I had just like obviously transitioned, so my family weren't coming to terms with it yet, and they weren't fully accepting of me, and I didn't even really see my family. So, you know, it was very like triggering. It's like, oh, well, you're asking me that question, and I'm happy to answer questions when people ask me, but then I had to like say like, oh, well, I'm not talking to my family at the moment, you know, it's not actually like a good time for me right now. And it's like, I'm just there trying to change my name, like I'm just trying to do something here at the bank, and I don't have to be asked the question. It's like, some people might have been disowned by their family, and it's not a really good topic to bring up, or, you know, it
might be triggering.
Yeah, it's triggering. You want it?
I think you nailed it.
Do you think so?
You summed it up so well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I don't think I have anything else to add.
No comment. Like, you talk too much. I think this has also been a video for us to get it off our chest. Like, there's a lot of things that we
need to vent.
Yeah, we're venting.
Next question. How many surgeries have you had?
Yeah.
I can't count them.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't have enough
5, 6.
Babe, we don't have enough hands or toes.
10. No. We actually haven't had that much stuff done. I don't think it's like,
Yeah, that's
it's not crazy amount of things, but then that comes back to the whole thing of like, is what's real, what's not real, kind of like trying to figure out what we have is real or not, but I don't know.
Look, if we paid for it, it's real. It's on us.
There's a receipt.
There's a receipt, yeah. It's mine, I bought it, like, I'm using it, I can't return it now. It's been used, damaged, busted, no. So yeah, like how many procedures, I just like, yeah, going back to like, oh, you still want to see me as male or as my previous gender and you're not accepting or validating who I am today, which is highly offensive.
So anyway, that's all of the questions that we could think of that we get asked, and I'm sure a lot of other trans people get asked the similar questions.
We hope this has helped you how to interact in a way that is respectful of transgender identities. And if there is any questions that you do want to know, if there are any questions that you do want to know, maybe Google it. There's Google these days where you can find out any type of answers to the questions that you have. Do a little bit of research if there is like a trans person working with you, or you know, maybe you're not so close to them, so you can Google a few things so you don't have to ask them. And it also does get a bit tiring. Like we do try to be very accommodating and understanding, and we try to teach people and also bring awareness to trans issues, and we love sharing information to help you treat us better and make us feel included and all of those beautiful things. But it can get a bit tiring when we're asked on a daily basis the same type of questions, so it wouldn't hurt for you to do a little bit of research before you want to ask us something. Maybe there's something you can find online that you don't have to come up to us for help. So yeah, we hope this helped.